Deputy Eric Breeding of the Buchanan County Sheriff's Office. On behalf of myself and the Sheriff John McClanahan, I want to thank you all for your interest in what's going on in our county and spreading the news and information. Today, we are happy to report that 0 people are unaccounted for in the impact area. Crews were out all night last night, and there was 5 crews out this morning, reaching to those in the flooded area that were reported missing on our hotline yesterday, and they were all located. We also happy to report we are at 0 fatalities during this flooding incident. Now, we've been contacted by many people and businesses and nonprofit organizations on how they can help with our community. Our immediate need at this time is cleaning supplies, such as mops, buckets, shovels, general cleaning supplies, bleach, stuff like that. These items can be taken directly to the Twin Valley Elementary School that's located in Oakwood on Route 460. If you would like to make a monetary donation to support the community with the recovery, you can make those donations to the United Way. The Virginia Department of Emergency Management will be sending a press release posting on their social media platforms that all the details on how to make those donations, so keep your eye out for that. Currently there are 3 road closures in the Whitewood area: Route 628, Route 635, and Route 715. Route 715 will be closed for an extended period of time because of the damaged bridge on that road. We do anticipate the other roads to be cleared out hopefully by the end of the day, or at least within the next day or 2. Now, we want to encourage everyone to stay away from the impacted area while cleanup and damage assessments are happening. Now, this is going to happen over the next several weeks. We also want to stress that looting of any kind will not be tolerated. The Virginia State Police and the Buchanan County Sheriff's Office will be patrolling these areas regularly. This time I'd like to let Billy Crimes with the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. He's going to come up and talk about some things that happened during the rescue operations.
Thank you all. So this was a monumental search effort, a lot of area that we had to cover. We covered approximately 30 road miles worth of areas and about 400 structures. That was made possible through the cooperative efforts of the local agencies here in Buchanan County, as well as state agency cooperation of the State Police, Department of Emergency Management, and a number of other state agencies that have been assisting us. We also coordinated in 6 teams from throughout the state, from Lynchburg, Roanoke, Salem, Bristol, and Southwest Virginia, to come in and assist with the search operations. We have a few operations continuing to go on at this time, just to make sure that we don't have anybody else out there. We're checking vehicles in the river and things like that. So we expect to wrap those operations up this afternoon. From there, understanding that this is not done, and we continue to take in requests for wellness checks, medical needs, food, shelter, all of those types of things, and those will be addressed on an as-needed basis for any issues that come up. Those teams will also be available if, for some reason, something else comes up or somebody else is reported that we don't already know about. So that's all I have to report on right now, and I'm going to turn it back over to Chief Deputy Bree.
Okay, next I would like to introduce State Senator Travis Hackworth.
Well, thank you, media, first of all, for the coverage that you are doing here. Like they said, this has been a monumental search and rescue mission, and I would personally like to thank the governor's office. He has reached out to me several times. We've talked to him personally, and he is keeping in constant contact with us on the ground. And he's let me know that the state of Virginia will do anything they can to assist us with the needs that we have here. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears also has contacted me and give her support. Sheriff McClanahan and the Chief Deputy Eric Breeding has just done an amazing job. Also, Emergency Coordinator Bart Chambers has done an amazing job coordinating with VDM and all the agencies. I've never seen cooperation. I told them this morning it was like deja vu with Hurley last year. A lot of the same people showed up, and they have just done an amazing job. Also, Senator Pillion and Delegate Moorfield. He has Delegate Kilgore, Delegate O'Quinn, and Delegate Wampler. All of those have been whole Southwest delegation, including on the federal side, Congressman Griffith and even Senators Kane and Warner has checked in, and they stand ready to help. So we appreciate them as well. So anybody that would like to make monetary donations, the United Way has set up a fund that you can donate to that, and I think they're calling that the July 2022 flood relief. It is separate from the Hurley flood relief, so you can go on United Way and you can see that. But we appreciate all the support that everyone has given us, and I'll turn it back over to Chief Deputy.
At this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all the outside agencies that responded to this emergency. Without their help, there's no way we could have pulled this off. We don't have the manpower, the resources, and without these guys coming in, and if you look at this parking lot and see, they're from all over the state, and they are professionals at what they do, and they do a great job. So I think they all need recognition. At some point within the next few days, I'll have a list of every agency that has assisted with us, and I would love for you guys to at least let the world know that they're the ones that made this happen. The guys that come in here and stepped it up in the middle of the night and said, "We're here to help," and risk their lives too. As Senator Hackworth was talking about, we do want to thank the governor. We want to thank Senator Hackworth, Delegate Pillion. We'd like to thank Delegate Moorfield, Congressman Griffith, for all the support that they've given us over the years here in Buchanan County, and especially during this event. Sheriff McClanahan also spoke with Lieutenant Governor Sears and with representatives from the Attorney General's office and with the governor himself. So our state officials are very concerned, very interested, and are willing to give any resource that we need to get us through this situation. So we greatly appreciate that. And at this time, that's the end of what we have to say. Does anybody have any questions?
Chief Deputy, can you talk about the challenges that you faced locating those that were unaccounted for? At the height, it was about 44 from when you guys had released your information.
Yes, I'm going to defer to Department of Emergency Management for that.
So one of the biggest challenges here is the large geographical area that we were dealing with. The over 30 miles of just road and river miles that we were dealing with. The numbers did fluctuate regularly on that list. We referred to that list as unaccounted for, not necessarily that we had any credible missing information. And so a lot of that was just tracking folks down, making sure that it wasn't an access issue, which is what the case was in most of those. They weren't able to get out. They didn't have phone service. They didn't have power. There's no cell service in the area. And so they weren't able to make those contacts out to the outside world. So family members, friends, checking on them was the key to getting all those resolved.
Can you quantify the structural damage?
So it's everything from just minor damage to houses that were washed away.
How many?
We don't have an exact number. That damage assessment is going to take place tomorrow, and those numbers will come out as the days go on.
I know you said multiple agencies on the scene. Can you talk a little bit about what you're seeing, like on the ground, and how those rescue attempts have gone?
So most of the areas, we've seen everything from the landslides to just flooded roads where the road's been completely washed away, and so that's presented challenges with getting our teams in and making access. In some cases driving 3 or 4 times the distance we normally would to get into an area to be able to search it.
How does this compare to other natural disasters we've seen in this area?
So very familiar to the incident that we've referred to a year ago in the Hurley area, in that we see the water come up very quickly as a result of these heavy thunderstorms that run through the area, and so the damage is comparable to some of those others that we have seen in Southwest Virginia. We have the mountains, not a lot of place for the water to go.
How long do you think the cleanup efforts will take here?
To some extent that's still occurring from the Hurley incident, so it will take time for each of the different pieces of things to come together, and that's where that support, the donations and things like that, volunteer organizations, will really be key to making that stuff happen.
Do you have an estimation on how many families are displaced right now?
I don't right at the moment, to be honest.
What a relief you guys must feel to have escaped a disaster of this magnitude with 0 casualties.
Absolutely.
Can you speak on that?
So, anytime, again, we walk into it as a worst case scenario. We plan for the worst, we hope for the best, and once again, that's been the case.
How long will you guys be out here responding and helping out these folks?
So that effort may look different, there may be different faces, but it will continue for the coming weeks of people doing assessments, getting the help that they need, and getting the resources they need into the area.
Any estimates as far as the infrastructure, the cell service, the road access?
None that we are able to brief out right at the moment.
For those displaced, are they being helped by the Red Cross? Or I know you had a staging area for families at
The shelter is set up, and that information has been distributed pretty widely as far as making sure that those folks are taken care of.
Would you be able to put a dollar estimate on how much damage there was? In 30 miles of rivers and roads, that's a lot of area.
So again, that's part of the process that will begin tomorrow with going door to door and looking at that and being able to assess how much damage was exactly done.
And would you be able to relay any of the stories of those that you were able to find after their loved ones thought that they were unaccounted for or missing? Or,
just the one that I shared yesterday was a good example of that unaccounted for. We had 2 kids that were at home and parents were away because of work, and so had to make contact with the parents, let them know that they were okay, and then it was hours before we were able to get them back to the shelter and get them reunited. But that was a typical scenario for what we saw with most of these.
Have y'all come across any people not wanting to leave their homes? I spoke with someone who mentioned someone, their home is in the middle of the road, they don't really want to leave it.
So we do occasionally come across those folks. If they feel like they can take care of their basic needs, a lot of them have a reluctance to leave, and they'll try to stick it out as much as they can, and we'll support them in those efforts.
I know the governor's declared a state of emergency here. Is there an indication that you guys may be looking for FEMA help as well?
That's part of that damage assessment process to see if that meets thresholds to be able to do that.
Earlier you mentioned that looting would not be tolerated. Has there been a problem with looting?
That's
since it's
looting.
happened?
Right.
Earlier you mentioned that looting would not be tolerated as search efforts and cleanup processes go on. Has there been a problem in the last couple of days?
We have not had any problems with this flooding event on looting. That's why I wanted to mention that, to get that out ahead of time, is we're not going to tolerate that with this incident.
We got time for one more question.
Are there any major injuries?
No, we only have one flood-related injury, and it was actually a snake bite. Yes.
Okay.
Just real quick, if you don't mind, real quick. Oh, you want to tell about getting
Yeah.
ready? And the church said once that's done, if they want to go get lunch, that any of these guys can go to, go down the basement.
Okay. In the media advisory, we had said that We're going to have some folks from the Sheriff's Office and the team here escort some of the media around if you're interested to follow along to get some shots in the impacted area. We'll kind of leave from that area, but we'll give you, from this area, we'll give you time to pack up your stuff. The church has offered, they have bathrooms, they have lunch. If you want something to eat real quick, you can do that as well. You can just go inside the church. We will try to provide as many updates as possible as we get them, and we'll tentatively have another press conference tomorrow, midday, depending upon how much more information we have, but we'll also send out a media advisory about that. And again, remember, media requests can go to pio@vdem.virginia.gov. So if you're interested in going on the tour of the impacted area, I would say if you're in this area in the next 30 minutes, will probably be a good time to do that. Let y'all grab something to eat, get your stuff packed up. So thank y'all and appreciate your time. Yeah, be back in this area.
We got pizza, everybody.
Corey, I'm just wanted to get a contact information for you.
Excuse me, sir.
I thought you said Brian. I'm a search and rescue coordinator. All right.